Portal 2 has won 11 awards in the time it has been around, and for releasing in 2011, I think you could agree. Portal 2 is my personal favorite story game. I've played it 4 times in a single week. So when I saw there's a mod for Portal, I was skeptical, but boy, when I played it, I instantly fell in love with it. But as most things do, you tend to forget about them. I never forget about the game Portal Revolution, but I forgot why I liked it. So, as I began my streaming career and started playing Portal again because I decided to play it. And boys, I love it. In Portal 1 and 2, you play as a woman named Shell, or Cell? Don't really know how to pronounce her name. But she's a woman who cannot speak because of brain damage from sleeping so long. In Portal Revolution, you play as a new character who we don't get the name of, but we know they are a woman that is suffering the same damages as the Shell or Cell. But enough about what has happened in Portal 1 and 2. Let's move into the actual game, shall we? You start the game in what seems to be an apartment and bed, but quickly you realize the quote unquote apartment is on the move. A crane picks up the room and places it on a conveyor belt. A voice starts talking to you about how you've been asleep for 36 years and tells you that you've been selected to join the Human Emergency Response Team. He then tells you to sign a contract, but you aren't really able to read the details as they move so fast. You then are able to go through an assortment of test chambers, including getting a portal gun that can only shoot the blue portal. Once you get through all the chambers, you then find out that there's no team at all. But it was a ruse to get you to help a core named Sterling get the facility up and running. We end up getting scanned as an Aperture employee and progress further through the laboratory. This chapter is mainly about doing puzzles to get to what they call the Spire. We aren't given much information about the Spire, but all we know is that it can fix the whole facility. This chapter is more about getting to know Sterling than anything, because the only thing that you're doing here is the puzzles. At the end of the chapter, you get to the elevator that leads you to the surface. The game builds nicely on how Sterling as a character in all through all the dialogues and how he acts. He should always trying his best to make the facility come back to its former glory, and they're able to build the character well like Wheatley from Portal 2. Yet they make him nicer and a lot less British. The puzzles they use are also new, as you can go through this area that has fans and conveyor belts, but you need them to finish the puzzles. You can also use boxes to shove into power supplies and turn off machines. As you exit the elevator, you finally see the surface for the first time in a while, to say the least. The spire is a massive cone-like structure which looms in front of you. You go through more chambers which contain things like the gels from Portal 2. This is a nice little addition because that was a core element from the Portal 2 game. One massive thing that you get is the improved portal gun. Now you can shoot both blue and orange portals at once. We do more of the same puzzles, but with some turrets sprinkled in. Sterling also mentions how he thinks the test only a human can pass is complex and needs more cognitive thinking than robots have. You then finally make your way to the spire. The big doors swing wide open to reveal a massive inside with some sort of core in the middle. You walk up the steps to see there's a button. Sterling tells you to find the super hard test, but you just press the button and it's over. He then finally shows how the machine works, teleports materials anywhere through time and space. Sterling then talks about how he wants to bring the previous core, GLaDOS, back to control the facility. He then first conducts a test with a cube, an inanimate object. But then he needs you to step into the test chamber to do the animate test. As the test starts, the light starts to flicker. You start teleporting to random places, but keep on coming back to where you were before. But the last time you get teleported, you don't come back. You wake up at the bottom of the facility, and I mean like the very bottom of the lab. You can see the foundation and the water, which makes it seem more like an island. Your portal gun has broken due to this teleport, but you can move through the halls to find a new portal gun, one with red and lighter blue portals. You also hear a female voice which seems to be practicing the script she was given, but you dismiss it and then continue to do the puzzles to progress through the lab and find a new mechanic, sucky tubes. That's the point I wanted to bring up a little bit ago, but this game makes a bunch of new mechanics. Like, all the way from the start, they're even using things like boxes, which take lasers and, like, they come in, the laser comes in, and then it shoots it out to whatever box is connected to, even if they're not touching. They don't even need to make new mechanics, because they even use things like regenerating the boxes which you've already made to progress further through the game. But as you get closer to the end of the level, you wake a core. A light blue one, which seems to be the same female voice you heard from earlier. You take her with you and move up the lab. You begin to move further up the facility, using these new mechanics to progress. You find out the core's name is Amelia Connolly, and what mind is uploaded to the core was meant to be wiped. You finally get to an elevator to the surface at the end of the level. This is where things start to heat up. Sterling and Amelia meet, and they are not on the best terms, it seems. Amelia remembers when she made a vacuum cleaner called Sterling, though. You separate from Amelia so she can go back to help you from afar. You and Amelia continue to plot against Sterling's plans to bring back GLaDOS. At the end of the chapter, though, Sterling catches on and tries to kill you. But before he can, Amelia opens a wall in which you teleport through. This is the final boss of the game. You have to activate all 4 buttons to stop the spire from exploding. And it turns out Sterling was the vacuum cleaner that Amelia made a long time ago. As you press the final button, the whole spire starts to shake, and everything fades to white. Now, I do want to say there is an extra bonus scene, which you should see at the end of the game. It is really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was fun to make, and also fun to record. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, do the regular YouTube things. I think you should know the GIF. And see you guys around.